We'd like to call the meeting to order. Pledge allegiance in a moment of silent prayer.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You have remained standing for a moment of silent prayer. The first item on our agenda is public comments. If you'd give your name and address for the record, and are there any public comments? You can also speak on every agenda item. Any public comment? Hearing none, we will move on to the consent agenda. Did you want to speak? Go ahead. Oh, yeah. No. Okay, I'm getting it together here. It's full moon. We have minutes of the October 1st work session, regular meeting, statements and checks, and September treasurer's report.
Support.
There is a motion and support to approve the consent agenda. Oh, God bless you. Is there comments? Is Stan here? Does he know we start? I don't know if he knows we started. Any questions or comments? Sorry, shouldn't have done that. When I was reading the minutes, there's only one comment, and Trustee Gerald had said that we spent $20,000 on one clock, and it really wasn't one clock. It was, we replaced our current time clock, and there was actually 10 clocks, and upgraded the software that it integrated with our BSNA system. So I'm not sure if you meant to say one clock, but.
That is what I said.
Pardon me?
I mean, that is what, the spirit of what I was saying is that we just spent $20,000 on time clocks. So we could make it say clocks.
Yeah, well, no, I would just say, there was definitely more than one clock. It was replacing a whole system, so, and that's not up and running yet either, but I just wanted to point that out, although that's what she possibly said. I just wanted to point that out.
Thank you. But I appreciate you, Madam Supervisor, for pointing that out.
Any other questions or comments on the minutes and the work session of the regular meeting, statements and checks, and treasurer's report? Trustee Eldridge?
As I look through the minutes, I appreciate that my comments were so close to verbatim. I would just ask that we start doing them as close to that as we can on every issue, if we're going to do them on one. I like them verbatim, so the public gets a good grasp of what's said on every issue, not just one. And again, I don't mind that it was done on mine because it was pretty close. I'd just like to see us do them, I would say, a fuller report. I know it's more work for the people that do it, but I think it gives the people who don't attend the meetings a better picture of what's really taking place.
Okay.
Supervisor, I just want you to know that I did those minutes, and it literally took me 4 days. And it was just, to me, it's like when I was listening to tape, it was just easier just to, whereas Janice does a synopsis as they go through. So, and we actually have the recordings. So if you wanted to listen to it verbatim, hopefully we're going to have a video one of these days that you can see. So I would respectfully ask that you don't ask my department to do the minutes verbatim unless there's something special. But that's why those were done that way. The whole minutes are like that. It wasn't just the one issue. I literally just listened to the tape. And for me, it was easier to do it that way than just to go back and change them. So. It takes a long, it literally took me, I thought I was going to lose my mind, and plus I ended up getting a thing on my hand, so anyways.
Well, I like more detailed minutes, too. And what I used to do is they used to type, the deputy clerk would type them all verbatim, and then we would try to put them into, just so it had more information in it and grammatical and things like that, but I like more information too. I like minutes that it helps people understand, what we discuss, so I like it.
My name is Arloa Kaiser, live at 1421 Melvin Street, and I agree, I would like to see the minutes verbatim. And my understanding, stenographers, they just do that in doctor's offices and that kind of stuff. They just type and do it all the time. So I can't see why and I'm sure there's people that can do that here. It would be nice to have them verbatim. And I assumed that they were, and I am sure that other people assume that they are verbatim, so it would be nice to have them verbatim, so you know actually what is said and who said what.
Madam Chair, I'm going to second, basically, hopefully one day, we get video. I think that is, not only verbatim minutes, but also the need for video is something that would be very helpful to the residents in order to not only know what's said in a written standpoint, but also be able to see it in a video standpoint and also hear it in a audio standpoint, even though we do now, we do the recording of the minutes and put that online, basically. I also think that video would be helpful, so just wanted to kind of bring that up.
So we have, do we have a motion and support on the consent agenda?
Rowan Doe.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Attorney's report, general legal update.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I just wanted to highlight some of the things I've been talking about in some of my recent letters. First, I know Karen Wallen has taken off, but Joe's here, and so is Larry, but we think we may have a 4-year firefighter contract that'll be coming to the board on November 19th, and I'm not sure, I think according to Karen Wallen, the last time we had a 3-year contract was back in 2005. And so I do think right now that if we have a 4-year contract, it will certainly enhance the process, especially as you go through your budgeting process for the next few years. We've had a great opportunity during the last few contracts, in my opinion, to gain the trust and respect of all the firefighter negotiating members. And I think that that's evident by the fact they have tentatively approved the 4-year contract, and they have it scheduled for a vote by their membership on October 22nd. So we have requested of Clerk Rowe to at least put a placeholder for the November 19th board meeting that we will know here shortly whether it was approved or ratified. And if so, we will look forward to bringing it to the board for a full discussion and consideration on the 19th. Also, in regards to some of the infrastructure projects that have been discussed even at different departments during the last few budget presentations, just wanted to highlight what Trustee Rowe indicated is back on May 22nd when we were talking about doing a generator construct and a generator installation. There were 2 separate contracts. The board was very specific that they wanted to see some partnership and contribution from the county. And during the last week or so, while we're on the verge of going ahead and now implementing or having the backup generator, new generator installed, Supervisor Stumbo did receive the written email commitment from Sheriff Clayton for the $100,000 to go towards that cost. It may be billed in 2 increments, one in 19 and one in 20. But at the end of the day, the $100,000 commitment is a significant example of that partnership that the board requested to be carried out back on May 22nd. We also have an issue going on with the Schooner Cove bus stop that if the board is inclined to consider under other business, I would like for the board to consider rescinding the award of that contract to Gibraltar Construction. I did send over to all of you today a copy of an email from Tara Cohen in which she was very emphatic that she's not received any kind of cooperation whatsoever from Gibraltar Construction in regards to the paperwork, the deadline, coupled with the fact that we're now in mid-October. The project, it's kind of iffy right now at best, and so I believe that based upon the fact that Ms. Cohen has indicated that Gibraltar has had more than enough time to submit paperwork and that they just don't seem to be responding, that the board rescind that, award that contract, and go out for bids in the spring where you probably will get at least more than one bidder anyways. It was always somewhat problematic that you had one bid and about a 40, 50% increase over the estimated engineer's opinion of probable cost. So given her email and the conversation she said with OHM and myself, and I would recommend that you consider that under other business if you're so inclined. We've also have I also want to mention that during the recreation presentation, there was a lot of discussion about some of the different amenities that are going to be offered in the years, golf, et cetera. But one thing which may not necessarily show up on the books as a revenue producer is one that I believe is going to enhance the quality of recreational experience is the Eastern Washtenaw County Skate Park that is going to come into fruition in 2020, and the number of people that are already talking about this. I never really knew who Tony Hawk was until this all came about, and once you start reading about it, and you almost, if you ask that question to a skateboarder, they look at you like, man, what planet did you come from? But I did not know who Tony Hawk was. And so, but in reading about him and what that name and what that brand brings with it is going to be, I think, quite a phenomenal experience that you can't do nothing but enhance the overall recreation atmosphere given the proximity it has to the golf course and the recreation center. So that's one that I just wanted to mention because I think that will add to the flavor going forward. Also, I think Supervisor Stumbo has had conversations and with the Deputy Assessor Brian McCleary, and they have a pretty good plan to go out for a survey that we have to do for the YMCA so we can get that process started. I'm trying to figure out myself what would be the best way to start in terms of preparing a MOU. And so I'm continuing to look at different ideas, and hopefully we can get some traction going in that direction if the board is so inclined. Mike Hoffmeister, I know, has got a contract for the improvement of the maintenance garage to be repaired. I believe that while he does not have a start date, Mike expects that to be done sometime in October. And this will be done at a significant cost savings as opposed to replacing the entire roof. I know that the cost, which I think, don't want to say it's as good as new, but it should be a very lasting improvement, is $20,000 as opposed to a total tear down and removal. And that is hopefully going to take place in October. The padlock cases continue to come our way. You've seen a number of recent spike in some of these issues. We don't know why. We don't know necessarily why it is, but I'm grateful for the different partnerships the county sheriff has with neighboring law enforcement to identify drug houses because there are some pretty serious drugs that are being sold in our communities and in our neighborhoods. And we have a zero tolerance policy, and we will continue to enforce that as the board so directs. The drone technology that we board authorized that we negotiate just simply did not work out. You saw the email from Supervisor Stumbo. We were successful in at least getting the insurance requirements that we needed from that company. Value is just that they ran into a glitch with the FAA. It's too bad because we're always falling behind other areas in terms of technology, and ACM is an example of being at the forefront, but we have to continue, and this drone technology partnership, I think, would have been a wonderful thing to have been a partner, but the board did do, I believe, its part in raising its hand to be a partner, just that the federal government and the FAA stymied that from occurring. We've also met with a number of individuals from the state, including our state representative, Ronnie Peterson, consultant officials here locally regarding the status of Forbes cleaners. You've seen the letter that was sent out. We continue to monitor any kind of advancement of contamination along some of the properties on Davis Street. We also are waiting for the state to work out some of its wrinkles in their budget so that we can get back on track for the cleanup of Forbes proper, which is also a vital part of the E-Course Road corridor redevelopment. And we have, of course, our public nuisance cases that continue to be of utmost importance in regards to neighborhood stabilization. Karen and Brenda did attend the closing for 641 Green Lawn, so that one has now been accomplished, and I've asked Habitat to keep us informed as to the timeline, as well as the before and after pictures as to when the house is rehabilitated and sold to a new homeowner. So those are some of the highlights of the last few weeks since we last met. And any questions, I'll try and answer.
Any questions for Mr. Winters? The memorandum of understanding with YMCA, we hope to get back before the end of the year here to the board. I know that was a direction that you guys gave, so trying to make that happen. And then Doug, just, Mr. Winters, just so I understand, we're rescinding the Schooner Cove award of contract, or what was the company's name?
It's Gibraltar Construction Company, and I did think that given everything that's being shared with the board today, it's not going to happen. And I just think that, this is your last board meeting of the.
Well, they have until tomorrow, but they don't think they're going to make the deadline, you're right.
Well, Tara Cohen, you saw the email, she doesn't think they're going to, and she thinks they've had enough time.
Right. But I was just trying to think of the rescind Schooner Cove, or what, construction, what terminology?
Rescind the,
Rescind.
you actually approved the award of that contract to Gibraltar Construction. It's not been executed by anyone, and I would say based upon the fact that they have failed to proceed to complete all the paperwork required, that the board rescind the award of that contract for $187,300 for all the reasons set forth in the email from Tara Cohen.
I'm sorry.
Clerk Rowe.
I would just, because Tara said she gave them tomorrow, and just out of, because she's the one that's working directly with them, maybe we could do it, could we do it contingent on if they don't meet the deadlines per Tara, that we rescind it, and then I would just say authorize to go back out for bid, because we need to do a winter bid so we can get a better price. I mean, I just, out of respect for her, she's handled this whole project, and
The
so.
email I'm referring to came from her. I think she was the one that.
She said, I don't think they will, but I gave them till tomorrow. She did say I gave them a deadline till tomorrow. That's all. So is it all right if we just, could we, Doug, make the motion? If they don't meet the Tara's deadline of tomorrow, then that we could rescind?
It was our understanding, though, that it was supposed to be done this year, and there's no way they can do it this year. I mean, that's why,
Well, I think everybody's still thinking that they can. Yeah.
Madam Frost?
Although they're only just a week behind.
Well, they were supposed to start on October the 7th.
Right,
You got
right,
and this is
right.
already October 16th
Yeah.
tomorrow. And she's already indicated right now that they've not submitted any paperwork, and that, given the seasonal issues, limitations, that, it may very well be that, they'll have everything, but she's talked to the subcontractor that they're supposed to be trying to use. They've not had any contact, except verbally, with Gibraltar, and so they're going to pull the plug anyway as far as that goes, but I think the board should go on record that unless they satisfy everything that has to be satisfied by the county, by the close of business tomorrow, it's going to go away.
It's right. It's fine with me.
But as
Do it that
far
way.
as what she says here right now.
She doesn't think they're going to.
Well, she said that right now, they're already behind, probably going on 2 weeks of this coming,
So they were supposed to have it turned in by October 7th?
supposed to start it by the 7th.
Yeah, there's no way they can do it by this time, but anyway.
Madam Chair,
Yeah.
just on this topic, my only concern with all of that, and it sounds like it's going to be neither here nor there, but are we going to have to then pay again to rebid this project out with OHM?
Yes, we will, and I asked it should not cost hardly any money.
No, it's all done. It's
It's,
just,
yeah, it's administrative more than
Right.
anything, so that's a good question. I did ask that question to find out. And in talking with Matt, he definitely thinks we can get a better price I do it in the winter for next year, but our goal was to get it done this year. So
Because he said it was higher too because of the time of the year.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody was so busy, said.
Yeah, so he actually recommended that we do go out for bid again.
So can we just make the motion based on, they don't meet all the applications by tomorrow, we present the approval of their contract and that we
Authors,
authorize to go out for bid? Again.
I'm just, okay. Is that all right with everyone to add this to the agenda?
Yes.
Okay, so that'll be under business. Thank you, Mr. Williams. Under new business, we have Resolution 2019-44, which is road closure request for Warwick Drive for a neighborhood block party. Clerk Rowe.
Move.
Motion Doe,
Or,
support Rowe. Questions or comment? Is this an annual? I think they do this annually.
I think this is their first time, isn't it?
Oh, it's
Their first one.
All right, so we have a motion support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The next item is a request authorization to fill the vacant planning director position.
So moved.
Support.
Motion Eldridge, support Gerald Rowe. Discussion?
Madam Chair, I'm so excited to see this, position being filled. I just had a couple questions, and I don't think Karen is here anymore. It's just about the
Mike's here.
wording, or Mike, you can answer them. It's like an HR-ish thing. It's just about the wording in our essential functions. I just want to really redo, take a good hard look at all of the descriptions and qualifiers that we have and really see if they meet EEOC standards and ADA compliance. And I've brought this up before with other job postings that we've done. Just an example is must have good vision, hearing, physical mobility, and verbal communications. And then, hold on, where did the one go? It says something about vision being up to being a correctable, hold on, I just lost it. Basically, there's a thing in here that says, thank you, vision and hearing at or correctable to normal ranges. And I just for my own, because again, I'm not an HR expert, but looking at the EEOC.gov website, it says here that if an individual has an impairment that substantially limits a major life activity, such as vision or reading, seeing, she or he is protected under the ADA regardless of the fact that the disease or condition or its effects may be corrected or controlled. So just a simple thing like that, and I'm not trying to nitpick your job posting, but I do think it's really important to me that we have good language in our job postings that are fair and equitable to all people who may or may not want to apply.
Karen Wallen and I reviewed all of this
Right.
prior to it being submitted. I looked at it in terms of the job duties,
Sure.
and she did review it for compliance with the current ADA requirements.
Well,
And the language was adjusted, she did adjust the language accordingly based on the job description.
So this sentence alone, vision and hearing at or correctable to normal ranges, with my understanding of the ADA Act, is not compliant with that. And I don't expect you to have an answer.
I'm not able to
Wish
address
that,
that.
if it could be a friendly amendment, that it could, I don't know if it would be something that our attorneys could review to, have more ADA-friendly language, because this is an issue that's come up before, that it's really important, and because I know in Ypsilanti Township, we want to hire anyone who's qualified to do the work, but also we want to make sure that we're upholding our ADA Act and just being fair and
Do you think that when it says these requirements may be accommodated for otherwise qualified individuals requiring and requesting such accommodations, would that cover it? Is that new language? I think, I can find out, but I know
Yeah.
I think she added that language to help.
I know, but it doesn't matter if that language is in there, if then 2 sentences later, you then contraindicate what you just
Yeah,
said.
now you say you got to be able to see up to Right.
Right, you're supposed to focus on, this is just my limited knowledge of like job descriptions and duties. You're supposed to focus on the outcome. So like if you have to be able to review, like some of the other language was great, like it's review and work with whoever performs overseas. Those are great like descriptors. But when you say must have good vision, hearing, physical, like I might not have good vision based on that. It's just not a, this job description to me does not reflect the professional, great workplace that Ypsilanti Township is, and I think that just our language could be better.
And I'll double check that, because I thought she got the language from U of M, so, but we'll double check.
I mean, you can take the EEOC thing and like copy and paste it in there, and that's great, but then again, if like two sentences down, you're contraindicating it.
I heard you.
Like the whole, no, I know, but the whole spirit of your
Right.
job posting then isn't
I heard,
like,
yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying.
it's not to be I'm not trying to like argue.
No, I know, but I
just want it to
heard
be
you.
better.
And you know what I mean? I heard what you're saying, and we'll review it to see what we have to do to change it. I understand. We just need the right language.
Right, so maybe, like, I don't know if Doug or Angie or Denny, like, have any,
It's probably, I'm sorry.
Well, we can figure, we don't have to
'Cause
figure it out
everything
right
else
here,
is about
just before
skill,
the posting
everything else
goes
is
out.
about skills and performance. That one is basically a physical thing.
yes.
Probably if you just strike that one, you're all
So what I hear you say, Brenda, is that you guys will review it before the job is posted.
Right, we take comments and then we make changes.
If you have questions, I'm, like, again, I'm not an expert, but I'm
No,
pretty sure
You
that's not.
can't say you have to have good vision
That's
and
not a
mobility,
statement.
right? It's, I'm pretty sure
Sorry,
it's.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can, are there other?
comments?
Yes, Clerk Rowe?
I just, I am so excited too. I'm just concerned about a couple things. One is, I think that we want a top-notch, basically someone who's been a planning director somewhere, at somewhere our size or maybe even larger, and for a long period of time, more than 5. So I don't know, maybe we could just say something like, I'm not sure, major course of study in urban planning related field with 10 years of experience, highly recommended. So I guess you wouldn't knock out somebody with 9.5. And I don't think it should say some, it should say including supervisory. Because, I mean, we're the 6th largest township, 2nd largest. We're really, really busy, and we need someone that's a planning director, that's been a planning director, that has experience in that. That's me. And I also think that to do that, we probably need to jack that up to 100,000, 85 to 100,000. And third is that because of the level of the person that we really want, or at least I think that's what everybody wants, I actually think that they need to be totally responsive and work directly under the supervisor and not, be equal with the OCS director and other directors that we have and not be not be under the direction of them. And I know that's not always how we did it in the past, but I think with the level of that we're looking for in the area expertise. So I would amend the motion to include that we go with at least, or with 10 years of experience, highly recommended, including supervisor experience. I guess we doesn't necessarily be 10 years of supervisor, but.
You don't need to change a motion, you just want to change the
Change
job description.
yeah.
Kind of like Heather.
And add that we go up the range up to 100,000, because we want a top-level person in here, to me. If everybody agrees, I don't know.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Yes, I would definitely concur with each and every last one of those, including the wage. I think it is imperative that the person that gets this job is ready to hit the ground running on day one, and continuously can show throughout their tenure that they can use the skills that they should already have in order to meet the planning and zoning plans that are inside of our master plan that's coming up for vote next year, and to make sure that they're in compliance with that. And I do believe that it takes a highly skilled person. So with that, I would definitely concur each and every one of Clerk Rowe's criterias, if it can be done in order to change the job description to reflect such.
Okay. Other questions?
Madam Chair, yeah, I'm okay with those updates, as other board members have said, that you could look into.
I do think they did a salary survey. Did Mike? Yeah. So, I mean, I guess if it's 5,000 isn't a lot difference, but if you're asking for more years of experience,
Well, it was like
then I do think that perhaps it might kick you into another category.
some of them, I mean, she did that, and I appreciate that when I asked Karen Wallen for it, but it didn't include like Pittsfield, the city of Ann Arbor, Van Buren Township. I was thinking who else, I know that we're not as large and won't pay as much as Canton, but I don't think it had, so I don't really know what the range, I mean, we could have put it through MTA, but I'm thinking if we go 100,000, even if I want 110, that's enough for me to say I'm going to apply, and then I'll negotiate that. You know, I think that people in that level we've had that before. Even though we posted at one level, they'll come in and say, you know, once they're given the job offer and make it to that level, saying, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was thinking.
Karen and I did look at all the comparable wage surveys that were available, including MTA. We looked at townships that had comparable population base and comparable taxable value, and we deviated high and low. Like, for instance, Pittsfield was listed at $185,000. Do you want to go there, or?
Dang.
I'm just saying that's what they were listed at in their survey.
I'm in the wrong field. Oh, sorry. No.
Perhaps that included economic development, do you think?
No, it was just for planning director. City of Ann Arbor, I think, was up in the 120s and 130s, but they're significantly larger and have significantly more complex land use issues.
Yeah, I'm fine with increasing because are you okay with increasing the years of experience? That does make sense if you want to hire.
I have no objection to any of
I
it.
think that's actually a good idea. And there's usually a catch-all in here because a lot of the planners do grants and any other things assigned there's usually a catch-all in here, so. At the time, it says who they supervise, but that list may expand, right? I mean, it could.
Yes.
It could. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to tie
It's just based on the
it.
current staffing scenario.
Yeah.
But as my memo indicated in the past, the planning department was always staffed with a minimum of 4 full-time employees. And for the last decade, we've had 1.
Right?
So this is a very good step forward to start returning the department to the staffing levels and the resources that it requires.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
I did have one other thing. I was thinking one of the things that probably isn't in here, maybe we just want to add a line on it under the summary, I think that's where it would go, is when someone's calling in and saying, hey, I want to bring such and such a business, that's like economic development. I would suspect this is the person who's going to, like first class, going to be rolling out the carpet if this is the business we want. So maybe it should say something here about economic development and work on economic development issues as prescribed or as needed, just something simple.
Madam Chair, I'm sorry.
Okay.
If I'm recognized, I have to wait. That may be a great idea, because usually, I think I remember hearing this before, usually if someone does planning, they also dabble in economic development at the same time, or no?
Yeah, they do, and they like to.
Or Mike, no?
Well,
No?
what
Okay.
I've been told and what I've seen is that community development, which is aligned with the planning department,
Okay.
and economic development are 2 completely different
Okay.
skill sets. and
Okay, I just wanted to
different types
ask.
of work.
Okay, all right.
If you're going to look at true economic development.
Right, okay,
Now, the planning department and others upstairs on a regular basis, every day, we get people coming in, as Clerk Rowe gave a scenario that, hey, I'm interested in bringing this business here. The first thing we look at is the property that they're interested in, what type of business activity, and does it fit the current zoning or the future master plan vision. That's the starting point. And we give them advice on what their options are at that point. But we're not going out attending investment trade shows and other places trying to recruit investments to come to Ypsilanti Township. That's economic development.
Gotcha.
That's what Ann Arbor Spark does.
Okay. All right, thank you. That clarifies that question.
Do
Okay,
you think they take, though, the calls?
Yes, they
I mean,
do.
our previous director took calls for economic development around, I mean, they touch a lot of different fields. No, but,
I mean, one of
Well-
the things I wanted to do forever, and I think a good planning director could do that, is send them to the restaurant trade show so that where everybody there is looking for locations, if they could do that. So that's why I just thought maybe it makes sense just to put a sentence in there and represent the township in economic development as needed, just something simple. So that it's not totally, like they're not ever going to do anything in that area.
I think it's good to have that crossover ability, but if the more economic development work you put on them, you're watering down the planning functions and the master plan
I
function.
think skills over
Yes,
experiences.
the skill sets
I
are
mean,
similar. Yeah.
and I'm sorry, I just wasn't done. Just one more question. Sorry, Madam Chair, if I can be recognized. Okay, that explains that question. So thank you very much, the one I had asked. So specifically, though, you had mentioned, I'm not trying to, and when I ask this question, I'm not trying to say pay 185. You had mentioned Pittsfield pays 185 for their planning director. Would you have any, I guess, idea why they would, why a community would pay that much for their planning director? I guess the reason why I asked that question is because I know they have got some very, just recently, Wacker Industries just went out in the Pittsfield. Just curious in regards to, are they paying that much for some purpose? Does that make sense?
All I know is that's the salary that they listed in the survey, the Western Wayne survey that Human Resources looks at. I'm also, unless I'm mistaken, I don't believe they have a planning director on staff right now.
Okay, that may be
I
why.
don't think they've had one for quite some time. And there's
They
been-
contract.
Correct, and there's been directors and coordinators that have floated in and out of Pittsfield for a number of years now.
That answers my question. Thank you.
And we do have 80,000 budgeted for the economic development
Yes,
position.
yes.
But I do think that the more skills or experiences they have, it only enhances,
Absolutely.
especially when you're paying that kind of fair salary.
I do think that the range is appropriate to attract and, more importantly, retain, so we have some long-term stability.
All right, so with the recommended changes, then once we make them, we'll ship them back out to everyone since we don't have a meeting, for a while. We'll ship them out, make sure everyone puts eyes on them and their comments are included.
All right.
Thank you, Michael.
You're welcome.
We have a motion and support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 3 is a request for authorization to seek legal action if necessary to abate public nuisance for property at 6214 Tuttle Hill, 1521 Holmes, 942 Hunter, and 413 North Hewitt in the amount of $40,000 budgeted in line item 101, 950000801-023.
So moved.
Support.
I thought Mike moved that when my head was down, it was Stan. I thought Mike did it from the microphone. Okay, motion, sorry. Eldridge, support.
Heather?
All right. Any questions or comments?
Comments, Madam Chair. I could just say this, thank you for including 1521 Holmes Road. I know that the ordinance department has tried to get that particular location into compliance. It is basically an extreme eyesore for people that are going inside of, going on Holmes, going to the shopping center there. It's just an eyesore. So thank you for including 1521 Holmes. I just wanted to make sure that was on the record.
And these are people who will not comply. They just are
Madam Chair, I can just speak personally for 942 Hunter because I've driven past it a lot. This is the unicorn one. We had a big
Yeah, right.
fee. So, you know, and I think our ordinance department has done a great job of trying to just stay on top of it, and you can read in the packet, they've issued 24 ordinance complaints, or that's how many complaints have been reported in. So we do really try very hard to compliance.
Yeah,
Compliance is our goal. That's what we
Yeah.
always say. So, it's unfortunate we have to move to these measures, but thank you, Michael, for your work.
All right, so we,
Just had one comment. I was actually at Leo's today, and a group of folks who live in the Holmes Road neighborhood, who I hadn't seen in a million years, wanted to know, when are we going to do something about 942 Hunter? So I said, it's on our agenda tonight, so just wanted to share with you that people outside of some of us who complained about that house all the time are also.
well, Neighborhood Watch
complain.
brought it up
People
several
break-
times.
Yeah, so
It's like right at the
entrance.
Right,
of both streets.
so you can't.
Yeah.
You
right.
can't miss it.
All right, so motion support, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 4 is request authorization to increase per player league rate from $17 to $18 for Green Oaks Golf Course.
So move.
Motion Rose, support Doe. Discussion? So there'll be no changes in the other rates. Correct? All other rates are the same? Okay, so that's good. All right. Just wanted to clarify because I know we have to set the rates every year.
Correct, just that right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Number 5 is request to approve Township Board policy with adoption date of October 15th.
I would move with a
That.
couple, well, I don't know, because tonight, they didn't have to be in there. Just,
Okay.
I put it at the top so it doesn't get mixed. I would make the motion to approve it with a couple changes from what's in the packet under 3, distribution of agenda materials. I kind of got carried away with the maze and switched that to,
Will.
that the completion of the agenda, the clerk will post it on the township website, and then going on to the next page under conduct of meetings, the township supervisor, she's required, will moderate and chair all meetings of the board.
And then under public comment, were you going to,
Public comments, we have limited to 3 minutes. Was there something else you want?
the comments are directed,
Yeah, it says board members wishing to speak shall first, well, maybe should board members and members of the public to obtain the approval of the chair.
remember we had that in the last one, but I didn't want to have to remove someone.
Yeah.
But,
Can we just add it in there? Board member, under 5, board members and members of the public wishing to speak shall first obtain the approval of the chair, and each person who speaks shall address the chair.
yeah, and you have public
yeah.
comments with the 2 asterisks on.
Yeah, but I mean, we could actually put that verbiage in there.
Yeah.
So we'll change
No
it to
vulgar language, we just,
board members and members of the public. Sorry about that.
What's vulgar to you isn't to me.
no vulgar anywhere.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
I actually think, so it says board members wishing to speak first shall obtain approval, blah, blah, blah. But then it also says other persons at the meeting shall not speak unless called.
I guess
upon by the
it
chair.
actually covered
like
it.
it already-
Maybe that's why I didn't do that, yeah, you're right.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Just say that.
Under 7, I have to ask this question because there's a may. Audio and video recordings may be posted onto the website. That should be,
Well,
Well, we don't have them, so we can't say will.
the audio is, the audio
Maybe we
is
should
will.
say when they're available.
Yeah, the audio is
How about
will,
that?
the video is.
How about when they're available? Audio video recordings when available.
well, we do have audio, Karen.
Yeah, we have audio.
Sometimes we don't, but that's all right. Audio and/or video recordings. Can we put when available, will?
Okay, what
How
was
about
it?
when available will be?
Okay,
Sometimes the
yeah.
equipment breaks down. I mean,
Okay,
is that okay?
Yeah, that's
Audio and video
fine, yeah.
recordings, when available, will be posted.
when available will be, okay, I just wanted to, yeah, as long as it doesn't say just may, yeah, that's fine,
Right.
yeah.
And they're posted
As soon as.
the next day, or, I mean, how often do we, I don't know.
When do you get up, Lise? The next? You put everything up,
Well,
because we're using the audio, we're using that for the minutes.
So can I ask a question?
trustee
If we
Elder,
were using tonight's example, so you wouldn't post the audio of this meeting until after our meeting at the end of November when we approve the minutes.
That is the way I've been doing it, just based on the approval of minutes, but it can,
Yeah.
Can you?
It just doesn't seem functional that way, that people wait over 30 days.
Can you, the audio can be posted, even, that's not the same one that we're working off of for the minutes? We can do both at the same time? Okay. Yeah, we can
What?
post them.
Yeah, again, because I would just say, I mean, the audio is the audio, whether we approve it or not, it's what we said.
Right.
So it should be posted within 24 hours of our meeting. That's my only comment.
Right.
All right.
I think, and you're proposing new software that would
Yeah.
actually do that.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
But that's coming later.
Travis has in his budget on agenda and meeting software, which would automatically do lots of things, including posting the video to the web,
Yeah. And you could click on the agenda item and hear that discussion.
instead of having to search through the whole thing, kind of like the county does on their website. But that'll be coming back next year.
So we have a motion and support with the two changes. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 6 is Resolution 19-45, the resolution authorizing the Township of Ypsilanti to provide matching funds for a transportation alternative program grant application to Southeast Michigan Council of Government and the Michigan Department of Transportation.
Move to approve?
Support.
We don't have to read it.
I don't think so.
Um,
You want me to? Want me to read in the record?
I think we,
Okay, a resolution authorizing the Charter Township of Ypsilanti to provide the matching funds for Transportation Alternatives Program Grant for the Southeast Michigan Council of Governments and the Michigan Department of Transportation. And whereas the Charter Township of Ypsilanti supports the submission of application titled Huron Road, and it is road, not street, non-motorized trail segment to the Transportation Alternatives Program to extend the trail from James L. Hart to the Huron Road Bridge over I-94. And whereas the Charter Township of Ypsilanti's master plan for 2014 through 19 and 2020 through 2040 calls for continued implementation of the trail network connecting the city of Ypsilanti and Ypsilanti Township, in addition to completing the non-motorized trail network around Ford Lake along Huron Road. And whereas the survey conducted as part of the Washtenaw County Parks and Rec Commission's 2020 and 2024 master plan recreation master plan indicates that non-motorized trails are the top priority for amenities for Washtenaw County residents. And whereas the development of this trail segment will provide greater access to transportation and recreation opportunities for Washtenaw County residents in both the city and township of Ypsilanti. And whereas the Charter Township of Ypsilanti seeks to augment the county's and townships' voter-approved millage funding with outside financial grant assistance. And whereas construction of Phase 1, Huron River Drive to Joe Hall Drive could be implemented in 2020. The segment between Joe Hall Drive and James L. Hart currently exists. With this phase 2 from James L. Hart to Huron Road over I-94 could be completed in 2021. And the Huron Road Bridge over I-94 is currently in MDOT's CIP plan for 2022 construction. Whereas Phase 1 of the Huron Road Trail, half a mile, Huron River Drive to Joe Hall Drive, is currently being reviewed by the Washtenaw County Parks and Recreation Commission, connecting community funds in partnership with Ypsi Township funds for 2020 or 2021 construction. Whereas Phase 2 of the Huron Road Trail, which is 0.2 miles from James L. Hart to I-94, has an estimated construction cost of $200,000. Now be it resolved, the Charter Township of Ypsilanti hereby requests $200,000 from the Transportation Alternatives Program and agrees to furnish up to $50,000
40.
for 20%. No, it's 50.
It says, okay. It says 40.
You know what? I just caught another typo too. That should be $250,000 for the total construction. I'm sorry. Whereas Phase 2, I apologize for that. Roy kept changing the numbers on me. Whereas Phase 2 of the Huron Road Trail, 2/10 of a mile from James L. Hart, I-94, has an estimated construction cost of $250,000. Therefore, the Charter Township of Ypsilanti hereby requests $200,000, which is 80% from the TAP, Transportation Alternatives Program, which is referred to as TAP, and agrees to furnish up to $50,000, which is 20%, as its share of the total construction cost of this project was estimated to be $250,000. if a fiscal year 2021 Transportation Alternatives Program grant is awarded to the Washtenaw County Road Commission. I would so move the resolution 2019-45.
Motion Rose, support Eldridge.
It's a good thing we read it.
Did you see that, you saw the typo?
Pardon?
Madam Chair, there's a typo in the last paragraph.
Oh, 50.
50.
Thank you. Thanks for that.
Madam Chair?
Yes, trustee.
Thank you. I just wanted to first make sure that I point out, thanking State Representative Rodney Peterson for continuing to look at ways that we can improve non-motorized and also motorized transportation here in Ypsilanti Township, first with US 12 and then now with this addition here for non-motorized trail segment on Huron Road, sorry. So just wanted to make sure I put that on the record, so thanks.
Yeah, I was going to let people know is that there is a project from MDOT that was scheduled for 2022, and it's to redo the bridge and to allow a safe walkway and non-motorized over the bridge and between the city and the township. It's been on the Washtenaw Area Transportation List for 14 years, I think. And so finally we have it, and Representative Peterson did get it on that list, and we think we can move it up to 2021. So it makes sense to have the complete bike path from when you get right over the bridge and the exit all the way down, so you can go to Kroger stores and shopping, and this will complete that. We have a lot more to do, and it's only on one side of the road, but it is a major connection that will really help people move safely that are non-motorized, and actually motorized, because they're going to have better markings, and it's going to completely change it, though. So people need to be aware of that. When you go over the bridge right now, you have, you have a 4-lane, and you can exit off in the city if you're heading south. You can exit off in the city to go west, and there's another exit or entrance coming on. They're going to make that exit, they're going to eliminate the exit that's currently at the city and move it up to the stoplight so you can safely get off. There will be public hearings and public meetings about it, so it does dramatically just change it, but it makes it much more safe. There's a lot of people who walk to work, back and forth. There's a lot of bikers, and it came out in the Parks and Recreation Master Plan, as well as our bike path. What do you call it? We're updating our bike path non-motorized plan. So that should be coming to the board in, I think, November. But to have this connection only makes sense. Roy Townsley approached Karen and I at an event. It was literally last week, and said that there's an opportunity to complete the bike path. So I will have to add this to the budget. So other than that, I think it's a good idea. And we don't apply for it. It's actually administered. And
You probably can add it when we accept it, like if we get it.
yeah, I'll
Just-
budget. I'll probably budget for it,
Yeah.
because we know that we're applying, right?
Right, we are applying. But I know a lot of times we don't apply our match till we,
Right.
but it's up to you.
I did the Huron Street one, the one
Yeah.
for the other section.
We should be finding out about that pretty soon.
Right.
And the trust fund grant for loon feathers.
Yeah, there's a lot of grants going on.
Just wait.
Perhaps we need a grant administrator, but anyways, so we'll make the corrections to the resolution, and then we'll budget for it the next. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And number 7 is a request to set the public hearing date of November 19th at approximately 7 o'clock for the 2020 fiscal year budget. In line, yes.
So moved.
Motion support Ross William. In light of the fact that we didn't get through all the budgets, we may call a special meeting.
Yes, I guess, talk briefly with folks, if people would just hang around so we can get it on all of our calendars, a date when everybody can come, that would be great.
It shouldn't take much longer to get through
Yeah.
what we have. And the public hearing, we're not taking action on it. So if we don't take action, it's just for get public input, and we can still have the opportunity to change the
we don't
budget
get done.
and adopt it at the first meeting in December, so. Motion, support, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Number 8 is Budget Amendment 16, Clerk Rowe.
I have a motion to approve the number 16th budget for the 2019 year, to increase the general fund by $2,327, to increase, to $10,996,151, increase the law enforcement fund by $2,472 to $7,834,096, and to increase the compost fund by $5,757 to $812,684. Improve the line item changes as outlined, and these are all for PTO payouts. I would so move the budget amendment. Board.
Motion Rowe, support Doe. Is there questions or comment? Hearing none? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Under authorizations of bid, we have the request to award the bid for a riding sprayer for Green Oaks Golf Course to Spartan Distributor in the amount of $32,153.06, which is budgeted in line item 212-970-000-977-000.
So move.
Support.
Motion Rowe, support Eldridge. Yes, Mike.
Yes, good evening. Pretty straightforward. This is a request to purchase a new riding sprayer for the Green Oaks golf staff. We did go through you to authorize a bid. The bid was listed for about 10 days on BidNet, and we're hoping that you'll approve this. The existing sprayer that we own is about 12 years old. It currently needs some maintenance, which costs about $5,000. And apparently, I just found out this evening, is being held together by duct tape.
I love duct tape. Oh,
That's the
Madam
answer.
Chair?
Yes.
I'll ask this question either way. I know it's being held together by duct tape. But if for some reason it is available to be able to be traded in, to get anything back, would you do that?
Sure, we can explore that option if we see
Okay.
fit.
If it's,
Sure,
yeah,
yeah.
duct tape, so.
Yeah.
other things.
We'll take that off.
And there was only one bid on this?
Yes, ma'am, there's one bid. We did have 6 bid downloads, 2 from Michigan, one from Illinois, Colorado, New Jersey, and Ohio.
And we think the reason is because it's a
Toro specific, yes, which is a brand that Tim Smith prefers. He's familiar with with Toro products. He's used Jacobson and John Deere's in the past and has preferred Toro products going forward.
I know that all our mowers and stuff
Yes,
are Toro.
that's correct.
Because, so, any other questions? We have a motion to support. All in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
I have other business motion.
Okay.
I have a motion to rescind the award of the Schooner Cove Bus Shelter Pad and Sidewalk bid to Gibraltar, and to authorize going back out to bid if the HUD requirements are not met by Gibraltar by the close of business tomorrow. Support. Did I get everything?
I think Doug, it wasn't just, was there other things? I don't know what the HUD requirements.
That was
Was that the only thing that,
Yeah, that
is that
was,
what's holding it up?
yeah, I think everything else was ready. Wasn't it, Doug?
I just think, again, the way I interpreted the conversation I had with Tara in her email was that given the lateness of the season at this point in time, it's going to be difficult. Not that her email was kind of superseding what she had said earlier, but we'll know tomorrow.
Yeah, and I do know that Matt also said that we should rebid it, so,
I guess at this point, my only concern is that if they do get it, whatever they need by tomorrow, I don't have a clue as to they're going to mobilize and get started this late in the year,
but they could turn it in and start next year is what you're afraid of?
I don't know what they would do. I don't know. I just don't know.
Because it was supposed to be done this year. I kind of agree with Doug that it should just be rescinded because of all the challenges.
Madam Chair.
Well,
Trustee Rowe?
I was just going to say, before you said it, I was going to agree. I mean, our legal counsel has given us good advice. I would follow it. He's been giving good advice for a long time. 24 hours, based on what I've heard, is not going to change anything. And if it does do something at the last minute, are we setting ourselves up for some unintended consequences down the road? They've had plenty of time, in my opinion. Again, our legal counsel's looked at it, he's talked with everybody else. If the motion's going to be voted on, I'm going to vote no, because I think we should listen to the legal counsel on this.
Yeah, my only concern is this is a completely funded projects through the HUD thing, which Tara has full responsibility. I don't know, like, what that might do. You know, if a bidder that we approve ends up, I don't think they will, doing what they're supposed to. Like,
I think the deadline.
that's why I just defer to her, because it's her project, really.
She did send an email today.
What she said is, she goes, I do share your
She gave-
concerns about Gibraltar's willingness and ability to perform in this project within the
She's
guidelines
concerned about their
and
ability.
requirements we've already set forth. There's been more than enough time to submit paperwork and the late start dates. I mean,
She says she gave them until tomorrow at the close of
said
business.
this here about what's been happening to date, and I know that she's also said that she was kind of surprised that
We approved it, is what she said.
I just wish I could have talked to her.
I mean, you can-
It's okay. It's
you can. I don't think you have to, I mean, her email was pretty, I was surprised to receive the email as detailed as it was, quite frankly, because
She's concerned, that's what I gathered out of it. She's very concerned about this contractor inability to provide the necessary
I
information.
just simply called to find out where she had received the paperwork, and then unbeknownst to me, she had also talked to Elliot Smith, because in her email, she talks about talking to both Elliot and myself, and all the details she went into in the email. I was expecting her to go into the
Do you-
detail, but
It's fine with me. I just don't want to mess up her funding.
So you're okay with taking out that?
As long as Tara says it's okay. I mean, that's me.
Okay.
Like,
So-
I
so
mean, no
friend-
one wants to mess up our funding, right?
It's not going to mess up our funding. She said it should be rebid. I mean, she's very concerned about this bidder, Karen.
I know that, but she says, I gave them till tomorrow. She says that in her second paragraph. She doesn't say, I think that we should reject, and maybe I'm reading way too much into her thing. I just know it's
Matt Parks
the money
also
that she
said,
oversees. It's the money that HUD oversees.
Point of clarification. Her tomorrow, is that tomorrow by 9 o'clock in the morning or
No,
tomorrow
close of
by
business.
5?
She said
Okay.
close of business, which,
Okay.
I'm concerned about, this was one, we had one bidder, and it was so much, what was it, $70,000 more than
60% anyways.
higher than the bid, and we said we would do it because we wanted it in this year. That is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So,
I'm fine. Is Doug's comfortable that Tara said do this, that I'm fine. I'm good.
So I guess what she was saying, and what I was saying, and trying to say earlier, is that I'm not sure right now, I want to go forward with this contractor, because, if she's having this amount of difficulty getting the
Right.
paperwork on something that's supposed to have started on October the 7th, that's not a good sign, and this is going to
No,
be
it's not.
a good project for us. And I thought Matt sent an email back today saying that the cost to rebid it should not be.
was minimal.
It shouldn't be anything, because the bids are done.
I will watch that too.
We could basically do it ourselves.
Right.
That side of the coin needs to be monitored too, because, I don't know why you would have to pay twice for the same documents, simply because.
Right.
We should just
Okay.
have to pay for the posting and for.
So would you mind
shouldn't go
amending
to-
your motion?
Yeah, I'll amend my motion that we rescind the award of Schooner Cove's bus shelter pad and sidewalk bid that was given to Gibraltar and authorize going back out to bid.
Okay, thank you. And the supporter of that was Eldridge, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, so we have a motion support that's been amended. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion Doe, support Wilson, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Can everybody stick around so we can confirm calendars for special meetings? It'll be a work session. Anytime, any day, you don't have anything in the evening?
5 in the morning, 10 at night, Saturday or Sunday.
Maybe we should,
Oh, yeah, you're out of town.
okay, when can you not do it? What about this week?
Is that?
Nothing this week? Okay. And what, next week's when? is the only day? And what about the week after that? Okay. Yes. Well, here's where it's at. Monica meet on the 21st, and if not the 21st, this will be in the evening sometime, and if not, then not till the week of the 28th. Can you? So 21st is out.
Let's go to the 28th.
Week of 28th.
The week of the 28th, just a week. We're at the week of the 28th.
When are you gone, Lise? 29th. Let's do,
29th, we have the U.S. MDOT.
so that's out.
Public hearing.
Okay.
We don't have a calendar.
We will.
So Wednesday, the 30th?
What's the earliest you can meet, Jimmy? Wednesday the 30th.
Wednesday, the 30th?
You guys, you can meet at the
What time?
What time?
What time?
4:30.
So if we, I don't know if Heather can.
Can't do 9
Heather,
o'clock.
she don't work every day, or she works some days. She don't get off till 7. Oh, you're right, if we did it at 7. Well, what about Thursday the 31st? That's Halloween. Is that Halloween? Well, that ain't gonna work. These guys got little kids.
Well, if we did it at 4,
What about,
well, it still gets dark at 5.
Heather, you gotta let us know your schedule.
What time can you come? You work
Okay.
at 3.
Oh, you're fine, honey.
Do you have evening, like you have to go somewhere in the evening?
I don't know, when are your classes? When are you going to
Tuesday and
school?
Thursday.
In the evening?
Yeah, I don't have to always. You're easy to see.
So if it's earlier on the 31st, like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock?
Wednesday. What about Wednesday the 30th? Like what
She has a
time?
YMCA meeting.
What time do you get done?
What's wrong with Thursday?
Because I know they're be getting their kids ready. I know they're,
Oh, at 3 o'clock.
yeah, because little kids go out like
You're talking about
4:30.
31st?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
about, so you said the 30th?
That's what I'm,
YMCA is,
are you working the 30th? Can you make a 7 o'clock meeting the 30th? Do you think you'll be able to make 7?
I could probably get here, maybe run a little late. Yeah, we end at 6:30.
What time do you start?
We start at 4:30 and end right around 6:30 on the dot, so I can leave.
I know who's not.
I can get here.
I'm sorry.
Special meeting.
30th at 7? 30th at 7, Lisa. The 30th at 7.
In the
It's
morning?
a Wednesday. No, at night.
Oh, at night?
Sorry.
I think I got a Halloween party to go to. Do you have your calendar, Heather, on Friday? Can't wear a costume first.